We are cruising through Algebra 1. We are moving on to Lesson 5.5. This is where we're getting to the heart of factoring. We are going to factor using the difference of two squares, and this stuff, factoring, will always be there. You're going to use this for the rest of your mathematics career, so do not think that this is something that can pass you by. You have to be able to do this and do it well. I actually have students that went to Calc 3 who were so appreciative at how well we reviewed factoring. So let's hop on that factoring train. Our essential question is, can you simplify products of the form a plus b, a minus b? And can you factor differences of two squares? Our key, star circle highlight, we need to know that a plus b times a minus b is equal to a squared plus b squared. So remember, we just multiplied binomials in our head. So now we're going to do them again, multiplying them in our heads, but then we're going to learn how to factor. If I multiply this in my head, first term, x times x is x squared. What happens with the outers and inners if I have a negative 3x, I'll write it out this time, and a positive 3x? And know my last terms are negative 9. So what's happening with the outers and inners? Well, if we look at our little formula above, don't they say, hey, those outers and inners cancel out, voila, voila, where our answer is just x squared minus 9. So this is what they want you to observe. So let's go ahead and do this one in our heads. Y times y is y squared. The outers are negative 2y, inners are positive 2y, so those will cancel out. And my last term is negative 4. Moving on. 2a plus 9b times 2a minus 9b. 2a times 2a is 4a squared. The outers is negative 18ab. The inners is positive 18ab. Those will cancel out. And my last terms are negative 81, 9 times 9 is 81, b squared. So now we're going to go on, and notice they're telling us to factor. Factor means we're going to take this x squared minus 25 and make it into two binomials. Well, if you look at the above formula, it said a minus b times a plus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. Well, now they're giving us this, so I have to separate. What is the perfect square of x squared? Good, x. What is the perfect square of 25? 5. And I know that to delete those inners and outer terms, we need a negative and a positive, so it has to be x plus 5, x minus 5. I do get the question a lot, can I write it the other way? X minus 5, x plus 5 for sure, because remember that multiplication is commutative. Commutative means that 2 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 2. All right, moving on to the next question. Factor 100 minus t squared. Well, let's first find the perfect square of 100, that's 10. And the perfect square of t squared, that's t. Remember, we will need 1 plus and 1 minus. We're going to put 10 in the front. I know you're not used to that, and sometimes you don't like that. And then we're going to put t in the back. Make sure your t does not look like a plus sign. So it's 10 plus t, 10 minus t. All right. The next one looks a little bit more confusing, but it's not, because you know your stuff. The perfect square of 64y squared is 8y. Remember when I made you memorize those squares and cubes? This is why. Well, there's more reasons too, but this is one of them. 25a squared, perfect square is 5a. Again, we need a plus and we need a minus. 8y plus 5a, 8y minus 5a. All right, we're going to do one more because I think this one goes on and on and on, and you'll see what I mean. Notice that the perfect square here is 9m squared, and the perfect square of 16 is 4. Remember that we need a plus and we need a minus. So I'm going to put 9m squared in the front and 4 in the back. Now, this is the challenge for you guys in Algebra 1. You should be able to see that this one is still that difference of two squares. This one cannot be factored down, and I'll show you why in just a minute. But this one also has perfect squares. I know that the perfect square of 9m squared is 3m, and I know the perfect square of 4 is 2. Again, it's a difference of two squares, so I need a plus and a minus. So I'm going to put the 3m in the front and the 2 in the back. Now, the question that you guys, a lot of you think that this could be factored to be 3m plus 2 times 3m plus 2. This cannot happen. No, 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 no. Our answer is right here, and this is how we will answer it. But let me show you why this cannot happen. If I FOIL this back out, 3n times 3m is 9m squared, right? But remember, I have to take the outers and inners, which are both 6m. Those don't cancel out. Last terms would be 4. So remember, the reason why they canceled out was because it was the difference. So this key right here is the difference of two squares. We would never factor this to be 3m plus 2, 3m minus 2. So say no, no, no to that. And know that this top is my answer right here. 9m squared plus 4 times 3m plus 2 times 3m minus 2. Great job.